ready to go on the front. Here's Michael Maney.
Working beautifully there, Neil. Back in the middle, 47 points the difference. Underway in the last quarter of round 11. The SANFL. Powell for the Eagles kicks it forward. Pumped away, working hard. Hanby has been a good player for them. Lindsay cleverly got it to Regolo. Could have got a free kick. Inkster just with the right foot. And that man that Mark Soderstrom told us about earlier, Luke Spear, is going forward with immediate effect. He takes the mark around 35 metres out directly in front. The young man is just starting to make his way in the competition, coming from Jeff's Cross last year, Luke Spear. And this will really sink the Panthers. He has drawn it back beautifully. And a goal inside a minute to the Eagles as they push away by 53 points.
And just a nail in the coffin there is that the Eagles just work it forward. Rugolo involved. Inkster had a quiet start to the game, getting involved. And Luke Spear just read it better than anybody else off the boot. Worked his way to the front, importantly into the breeze. Via North Adelaide, via Jeff's Cross. Been reinvented by Ron Fuller today. The move's paid off straight away. He kicks a goal. Robert Pyman will find a lot about his players in this last quarter.
Ball back in the middle and a lot of congestion in there just for a change. Rugolo getting up, surrendering the ball. Importantly for our guest at three-quarter time, Mark Passador, Rugolo hasn't got a goal, but he might get an opportunity. No, goes short this time to Watts. And the young man takes the mark and then looks for a lead inside forward 50. And that'll be a free kick against Warren, will it? No. Free kick against Phillippo for holding on. Ben Warren obviously gone into the back line. Well, Spear appeared to be coming from the side before the umpire called play on. That's certainly what the umpire thought. And as a result, it's a 25-metre penalty.
Does he get a 1%er for a smother for that?
Maybe in the Eagles stats. Warren down towards half forward, looking for Bennett, who's been shifted up forward for this final quarter. Cicolello was clever to Colville. He had Toya in space, uses him. Toya, time to have a bounce and a look. He was short with the pass, and that was a bad choice. Nigel Smart, though, misjudged it. Was able to reef it in, then Hamby dropped it. Umpire call play on. McKenzie got the hand pass out. Then a turn, it goes forward for the Eagles. Gee, they look sloppy south. Stokes knocked it out. Toya finally to Phillippo. He's only going to kick it off the ground. Oh, was it over the line? Wait on it. I think it was. No, the goal umpire said play on. So somehow South Adelaide got out of that one.
It's a bit suspect to me, Neil. Must agree with you. We'll get to it in a moment. Hanby kicks to the wing. Taken by Lindsay. High kick. Yahoo Watts has got it towards Cicolella. Cicalella's spearing kick has been marked by a man right on the top of his game this afternoon, Sam Phillippo. Let's have a look at the previous one from Phillippo. Did he get? He got his boot to it, and well, that's a goal for mine.
No,
off the boot.
All the ball has to be across the line, Michael.
Thank you very much, Andrew Rogers, who just pulled out his official SANFL rulebook. As Sam Phillippo's booted 5.
It's a fairly good luxury to throw Justin Cicolella, probably one of the better players in the competition in the last 2 years. Just throw him in the midfield from the halfback flank.
Phillippo from 45 has half a dozen as the Eagles are, you'd have to say, embarrassing South Adelaide at their home ground.
Yes, embarrassing is a strong word, but they really have controlled the game for most of the day. And as I said, the scoring shots tell a very telling tale. And as I said, Justin Cicolella, probably one of the best finishers and users of the footy in the SANFL. Sam Phillippo, good pace there to take it in front of his eyes. Nice and clean. And as I said, one thing he can do is finish. He's probably only had 7 or 8, 10 kicks for the day. He's got his 6 goals alongside his name, though.
Yep, just the 8 kicks, Andrew.
South Adelaide, blessedly, finally for their supporters, getting the ball forward. Manhood off the ground. That was sloppy. Into the 50 and out, and then in again. Does that count as 2 entries, Boggy?
Just 1.3 here.
Maybe the ball wasn't fully over the line the second time, but it looked like it bounced inside 50, then out, then back in. Of course, eventually out of bounds. Ronnie Fuller content to look at the game from ground level this afternoon. Lindsay at the front, dominant ruckman in this league. Handby roves it off the left foot, long, out in the full.
Just trying to work there in a confined space. Look, he's done the right thing, Michael Handby, trying to get it on his feet quickly. Just typified South State. They really haven't been clean and tight, and just the pressure put on by the Eagles around the midfield has just been a little bit too much. The difference between playing a lesser side is that they won't put that type of pressure. You don't have that pressure. You can use your skills, and it's not under pressure. Today, the Eagles have been very good at their 1%ers, putting pressure on, tackle, shepherding. We've seen a number of smothers. They really have overwhelmed South Adelaide.
Stephen Hall brings the ball back in. Sigalella, brilliant rove. Then the hand pass inside, misses the target, and Powell, who'll be shut down immediately. He picked it up, surrendered the ball. That allowed Manhood in. Manhood, though, shut down quickly again. Griffin, brilliant vision. Smith was good as well. Handby can straighten on the right leg and kick for goal. Handby lobs it up over the umpire's head. Thank you very much. A goal to South Adelaide. And just a tinge of the ironic cheers coming from their crowd.
Some good play by Clay Sampson here on the wing. Hopefully we pick it up on the replay. He didn't charge at Justin Sigalella. He made him think about it, and he just missed the handball. And eventually they worked into space. And Michael Handby, who's battled hard today, finishes off nicely. So South Adelaide get some sort of answering goal and get some respectability back on the scoreboard.
10 kicks, 9 handballs.
Hasn't been their worst player, Handby. He's been right in there in the clinches. Good tackler. 6 effective tackles last week. There's Floriani and O'Hara. Just having a jog. Ellis, the man who has gone into the rooms with an injury. Powell crashes through. Their commitment at the football today and their hardness, the Eagles, Andrew, has just been exemplary, hasn't it?
It's a very good workout for next week. They'll face a pumped-up Sturt, and as I said, after the week after they play Centrals, they're going to need to be at the top of their game. Sturt
looking a bit wobbly against North Adelaide this afternoon. Manhood couldn't get it. In goes Sigalella. Just feeds it out. Handball of sorts to Potter, whose kick is favouring Westbrook, who couldn't quite hold on. Boundary throw in. 7.5 minutes gone, 53 points the difference.
Andrew, you'll know this. Has Ryan Potter got the nickname Harry?
No, he hasn't actually. No. Quite simply, Potts.
What a big game next week. It will be Sturt and the Eagles at Unley. And should be a big crowd there. ABC television will bring that game to you. Be one of the games of the season, you would imagine. Sturt, who overcame Centrals a couple of weeks ago, last week, looking to get right back in the fray. Sigalella got it to Rugolo, taken by Stokes. What a miracle it is, he's back in town. Bradley does well in the gap, just kicks it long, looking for Bennett. Bennett's normally got sticky fingers, couldn't take it. Taken by Fruin, good hands to Pedlar, who got it to Stokes. Now here go the Eagles, this is where they can burn you. Stokes, kick into the pocket. Filippo couldn't hold on. Spear just tapped it forward. Riding him is Cobb. Spear good enough to get it back. He's done everything today. Filippo, left foot snap to the hot spot. Watts couldn't get there. Ball thumped away close to the line. Spear, surely a free kick. Umpire said play on. And will he ping him for holding the ball? No. I thought the young man could have got a free kick there. And Andrew, tell us all about it.
It's great discipline by Sam Filippo to send it up. Pose a question to you, gentlemen. Has there been a hold in the ball today?
I think so.
Not that I can remember. Here's Stokes on the boundary up the left foot, straightens up. Whole lot of Eagles in front of goals, but it's Bradley that takes it away for South Adelaide. He releases Smith, puts on the hammer, and then Smith gets down towards half back before he kicks down towards half forward, using the breeze, but not using the kick very well. Eagles will get an opportunity to repel it. Westbrook did well to get clear, and in the end, I thought that was out on the full, maybe not, just inside the line, according to the umpire. And again, Andrew, no holding the ball.
There's Nick Manhood voicing his disapproval of that to the umpire. But just good presence of mind, had his arm pinned. Just got the kick towards the boundary line, so good defensive play. They have a very good mixture of attack and defence going at the moment, the Eagles.
Hedge in the ruck getting the ball down. He hasn't had much time on the ground, I don't think, today as Hedge, but Ball cleared out of there by Colville. High. And now coming the other way, Smith. He's clever, not that time. Have the ball away to a teammate under pressure, and as a result, again, the Eagles get a chance. Stokes had a few possessions since he came back on. I know he was stalled on 13, I think it was, when he went off the ground with that dislocated thumb. Miraculously back on the ground. The Eagles come clear. Rugolo inside the Watts. Watts just then boots it down towards half forward. Griffin gets rid of his man for South Adelaide. The man was Mackenzie, who comes again. Griffin off the left foot, down towards half forward, looking for Hedge. Hedge is still 70 metres from goal. Looks up, no lead forthcoming. Tregenza is the target. Opposed to Hall, Tregenza in front. Hall brings him to ground. What a shot. The man who knows more about wrestling than the wrestlers themselves, Stephen Hall, does a good job. The Eagles come clear again, and it'll be Hall who'll get an opportunity to clear the area. No, Gavin, Ciccolella had their hands on hips and was thinking about what the next move was when he was given the ball by Hall. He gave it then in turn to Colville. They're taking their time. Boy, this is ugly football, really. The Eagles get it out of their defensive area, though. Out towards the wing. Bradley, another strong mark. Off to Smart. Haven't seen much of Nigel this afternoon. 277-game veteran at the Crows. Gets it across to Hanby. Can share it. Opts not to. He is a long kick. From 60, he lines up for goal. Pumps it long. Has the distance. What's the accuracy like? Good goal to Michael Hanby. Well, he knew his capabilities.
And he needed the kick it because Clay Sampson was his captain that was running inside. And if you don't give to the captain, you're sometimes in trouble. But, of course, they worked the ball beautifully from the outer side. They brought it back into the midfield and really haven't done enough of that today. Worked it out to the attacking side, and Hamby took his time, unloaded from well outside 50, and finished with a nice goal. So South Adelaide just persisting. The Eagles just tending to muck around with the footy a bit too much at the moment. Get back to that direct play that served them so well today.
2 last quarter goals to Michael Hanby. A couple of beauties, too, on the run. Long goals. Back to 47 points. Robert Pyman will want his side to really run this game out. King, another entry inside 50. Fruin off the ground. That Eagles defence has been terrific today, and probably the best of them. Merriman, who's wearing jersey number 39. There's Michael Hanby. If you want a copy of this game and any other game in the SANFL this year, just call that number on your screen, 08 8343 4601. You can purchase any video from any round of the SANFL. Inside 50 for the Panthers, taken by Stokes. Short dinky kick finds Merriman. Merriman will kick to half back. Smith there with Inkster. Smith did well. Just got around. Lovely play by Smith. He'll be looking for Hanby. Hanby's going to fly. Can't take the mark. Ball to ground. Little give to Tregenza. Merriman cleaned it up and went for the line. Good defensive work by Merriman. For my mind, just about best of field today, Merriman. Terrific player.
You'd certainly be vying with it. You'd certainly have to give it to an Eagles player, but they've spread the load so evenly over a number of players. Luke Toy's been very good. Gavin Colville's been also very good. Yeah, they're about the main 3 leading on the ground. I'd say Sam Filippo with 6 goals.
Powell gave it to Rugolo through the middle of the ground looking for Watts. Bennett did well, got in there, and now they share the ball to King. Through the middle, King looks up, gets towards that 60 or 70 metres out, and then chips it up. Tregenza on the lead. Nice mark. Nice pass as well from King.
Just showing his class there, Clinton King, able to find some space in the midfield. Beautifully weighted kick to Rod Genza coming out. One of the few times that he's been able to hit on the lead.
Clinton King, busiest player on the ground, 13 kicks and 15 handballs.
Tregenza. Precious few opportunities, just the 1 goal this afternoon. The former Kangaroo hops into that ball, kicks it straight, and another goal for Tregenza, and some face-saving late goals for South Adelaide.
Certainly just getting respectability back on the scoreboard. Certainly all the heat has gone out of the game. But Clinton King, see there, just beautifully weighted. Didn't try to drill the kick. Just kicked it out in front of Rod Tregenza on a lead. Not too much as Stephen Hall can do about that. Rod Tregenza goes back and kicks his second for the day from limited opportunities. certainly hasn't been his fault that South Adelaide find themselves in this predicament.
Vinny Rugolo copying a bit of a serve from Ron Fuller down the bench. One of the disadvantages of having your coach sitting down on the bench, and he's been replaced on the ground by John Floriano.
Yeah, she covered face to face. Smith out of the centre. Nigel Smart on the overlap. Sampson, former Crow. They go into attack again. Long kick by Hanby is away to the right. And out of bounds on the full. So Michael Hanby loaded up a couple of late. Missed with that one. Hall got it to Merriman. Deep in his defensive 50. Short kick. It might come unstuck. Toya. Get it back. Underground handball. Or played by the Panthers. Got it back in. Manhood should kick a goal. Found a bit of space. Nick Manhood and drilled a goal. Fourth goal of the quarter to the Panthers as they come rattling home, but time will beat them, no doubt about that. And the Eagles have taken the foot off the pedal. It's back to 34 points.
It's a little bit of arrogance about the Eagles at the moment. They've got the game covered. But Nick Manhood, look, gets a reward. He's had a good day. He stitched up Justin Sikalala early. And then just importantly, he took off, ran with the footy and carried it, settled on his preferred leg, finishes with a nice goal. If I was Ron Fuller, I reckon I'd be sending the runner out just to say, hey, we've still got 10 minutes to go here.
Well, it's 3 years since South Adelaide last won 3 in a row. They're not about to win 3 in a row this afternoon. They've won their past 2, and you would think the Eagles have them covered at 34 points in front.
Andrew Ronnie
through the final quarter. Sorry, go.
Yeah, Andrew Ronnie has sent the runner out, but it's to get Luke Toyer off the ground, and Vinny Rugolo is going to get another go.
King, first position, just got it forward for South Adelaide. They are coming over the wet sail. Nice little hand pass or two in there. It finishes with the captain. Sampson was just able to toe poke it. The tackle coming in late from, well, I'm not sure, it might have been Westbrook or Powell. Westbrook, I think it was, who now goes back in and under the pack. Pulls the ball in, and yes, it was. Well done, David Westbrook, just as the captain, Clay Sampson, was going to goal for South Adelaide. Luke Toyer, as Soda's just mentioned, off the ground. Lindsay claiming a free kick there, none forthcoming from the umpire. Finally comes to Inkster, goes short. Well gathered by Pedler, knows what to do. Boosts it long. Trouble is, it's 2-on-1 up there. Bradley, nice control. Fergus Watts hanging off him, takes the mark. In the middle of the ground, he's got a short lead on from a short player in Webb. Opts against that. Instead, uses the breeze, goes long. Nobody at the back of the pack. Smart will come from behind. In the middle of the pack, he gets it down to King. King with the hand pass to Daly. Short to Hanby. 2 in front of him. One of them was Carey. Carey will run into open goal and shouldn't miss from that sort of range, and doesn't. Well, you never know, Andrew. A sneaky chance, maybe.
Be very sneaky, I think. But look, they persisted in this last quarter. Robert Pyman would be happy with that, as much as what Ron Fuller is displeased with what's happened. Once again, set up like Clinton Thing. He has religiously gone front and centre. Nigel Smart provided a good marking yard, brought it front and centre. They had a number of players running forward to the play, and Carey was there lucky enough to be on the end of it. So just a nice quarter. They've done everything that Robert Pyman's asked them in this last quarter. They will win the quarter. So it's some sort of momentum going into next week.
5 goals to 2 in this last term. 28 points the difference. Bit under 5 goals. Still a long way for South Adelaide. O'Hara in the ruck. Floriani can't get free. I suppose all the Eagles need to do now is just try and bottle it up a bit. Keep it to the outer side. A lot of players around this ball. Sikalala ducked the head, and Daly ran straight into it. Free kick to the star midfielder, who's played across half-back for most of the season. Almost lost to the club this year. He went to Victoria. Long kick to forward. Taken by Inkster. Inkster throws it on the boot. One-on-one contest. Filippo there. In goes Bennett. A short kick out. Stokes will mow the footy down. Ran a little bit too quickly. Ran straight past it. May get it back again. Work to the line. Good play by young Ryan Griffin, who continues to impress Ron Fuller. Well, he was laughing about 10 or 15 minutes ago on the boundary. Not too much to smile about at the moment. Boundary throw in. deep in the heart of Eagle territory. Clinton King got one too high from Mackenzie as he was sliding to the ground. Umpire Williams paying that free kick. About to tick into 20 minutes. Clinton King with the free kick. What does he have in front of him? Not too much. The Eagles have manned up pretty well. Finding some space on the outer side is Webb. Webb will need to kick it long. It's about a 55-metre drop punt down, looking for Manhood. Manhood and Westbrook. Westbrook happy to see it to the line. Manhood content to turn around to the umpire and say that was deliberate. Throw it back in.
Just don't know about the Scott Webb. Very wide. You know, look, you're trying to win the game. You need 5 goals to win the game. It's attack down the middle of the ground.
Nigel Smart also complaining there about that decision. The sun's shining in his eyes, but let me tell you, it is cool. There is snow due to forecast to fall tonight. I would have thought it's really getting cold down here. As South Adelaide again, Bennett could have got a free kick. No, nothing forthcoming from the umpire. Here's Tarrant over the ball for South. Got one. Umpire said play on. Colville comes in over the top of him, and we'll get a throw up.
Continues his to develop again after his knee injury. Gavin Colville enjoying a very good season, getting more confident and getting fitter all the time.
13 and 11 today.
Here's Colville.
14 11.
He's come back from his knee reconstruction. Was in round 2 against South Adelaide. It was a loss, and as we said, South Adelaide the only side to beat the Eagles this season. They're not going to beat them this afternoon, although 28-point margin, you never know. It is late in the game, though. They break from the back and go forward again, South Adelaide. What's the bounce like here? It could go through. Pedler, in fact, will take it through. So a rush behind as Kruger's kick came in from outside 50. Robbie Pyman only on his mind this afternoon.
I think being a realist, he would have come here today thinking, look, if the Eagles play to their best, they're probably going to be too good for us and too many options through the midfield. It's probably the beauty of next week's matchup between Sturt and the Eagles. They do match up very well in the midfield, so it's going to be a real battle in there, and it should be a great game.
A sensational match. Tune in for that one on ABC television. Bring that to you from Unley. Spirited performance by the Panthers, South Adelaide in this last term. Pedler. Good kick into the teeth of the breeze. They fly. Ball thumped from behind. King. Another possession for him. Short distance kick taken by Westbrook, who's been outstanding for them today, to Fruin, who just lopes down the wing. Couple of bounces by the big man, just waiting for something to open up. Ran his full measure, Brent Fruin, and kicked it long. Inkster couldn't take the mark. Back on the footy again. Somehow got out of there. Tim Inkster, he can do the mercurial. Handball to Stokes. Stokes, can he seal the win for the Eagles? As if they're not home already. Stokes gets a brilliant shepherd, lays it on the left boot, brings it around and through for a behind. Matthew Stokes, lucky to play the second half after dislocating that thumb. It's back out to 28.
10 possessions before dislocation, 9 since.
No handicap, obviously. A dislocated thumb. They've obviously put it in fairly well. A kick in from South Adelaide, not the best. Cicolella with the easiest of chest marks, uncontested at about 70 metres from goal. Looks up forward, doesn't have too many options, goes for a short pass, and it was perfectly weighted. Got to Filippo, who took possession, lost it. Umpire still called play on. Ben Warren now puts on a tackle on Floriani. Tries to fling him into the ground rather softly in the end.
Justin Cicolella had 11 possessions in the first 3 quarters and 11 in this quarter alone.
Certainly got fixed up by Manhood early on, and Tarrant taken to ground this time. Yes, Justin Cicolella was playing across half back, and he was dragged away from the play in that first half. In this final quarter, he's been thrown into the mix through the middle. Here's Smith for South Adelaide. Had a change of mind midway through trying to kick the ball. That was dangerous. Bennett, his hand pass was loose. Smith kicks it forward. Carey, nice gather off to Smith, who didn't really want it, I don't think, because he could see the oncoming traffic. Potter off the ground, put it into the path of Colville for the Eagles. Colville ducks under a tackle and finds that man Cicolella. Cicolella looks up, goes with a stab pass with missed Filippo, missed getting to him on the full by about 10 metres. Finally, Filippo taken to ground, and blessedly the umpire comes in and calls for another throw down, or throw up at least, and that man is just about to throw up at some of the performances of his South Adelaide side.
Well, I was wondering if you used that segue, Neil. Free kick here will go to the Eagles. Gerard Bennett not happy about it. Robert Pyman, well, the look says it all. Not happy at all.
Tends to wear the heart on the sleeve, doesn't he?
He does. And Mark Passador will be on the edge of his seat as Vinny Rugolo will shoot for goal.
And he's generally a very good finisher too, so expect Vinny to kick this and put some real pressure on Mark Passador. But yes, I think Robert Pyman, you would be disappointed in today's effort. They'd certainly had emerged and are continuing to gel together well, just taking a little bit of a backward step today.
This goal to bring him one closer to Mark Passador, 19 for the season for Vinny Rugolo. Passador has 20 from about 45, sprayed it away. Good leap by Spear, taken by Wilson, whose kick's topped off by Floriani. He's got leads coming from everywhere, Floriani. Decides to go long into the pocket. Watts flies, can't take it. Cicolella in there, kicked out of that pack. It's a magnificent goal. Touched off the boots. Didn't even pick up who it was. It was that man who's hunting down Mark Passador. Vinny, he's sniffing a goal at the moment, Andrew Rogers.
Yes, you just can't quite get one. He's got another about 2 or 3 minutes to get one.
He may have perhaps just this match to catch him, because I think Mark Passador was keen to get back from that hamstring injury next week. So South through Kruger, they've moved the ball quickly down towards Manhood from behind Westbrook. Couldn't take the mark. Manhood off the left foot over the head of his Eagles opponent there in Fruin, and just out of bounds in the forward pocket. Quick transition. They haven't done that often enough or well enough, South Adelaide. There aren't that many fans here, but those who have made the trip here to Noarlunga are quite prepared to go home, obviously.
The fire's burning at home.
I hope it is. I tell you, it's cool down here at Noarlunga. I mentioned before, perhaps snow might be forecast. South Adelaide hoping to get a late goal. Smart. Claimed he was held by Westbrook. Still, he went to ground. Ball in dispute. Eventually, Potter gets it clear to Toya. Toya goes short. Not the greatest of short kicks. Clinton King gave it to Daly. Daly quick the boot. Down towards the goals. Over the head. It's a goal to Daly. Oh, South Adelaide. Robbie Pyman would be saying, where did this come from? Alternatively, I would have thought Ronnie Fuller would be saying, gee, boys, you've really let up on the pressure.
Yeah, I think it's more the latter than the former there, Neil. I think the Eagles have really taken the foot off the pedal. And once again, a mistake there by Luke Toya as he came into bounds. You see it there, just misses a target. They didn't do that early. They're certainly hitting their targets. And eventually the ball is turned around the corner. And South certainly have won this last quarter, but once again, it's all too little too late.
6 goals to 2 in actual fact, Andrew. Spirited performance by the Panthers, but I tell you what, Robert Pyman will not be a happy man at all. They'll drop this game, and maybe they'll go out of the 5. Taken by Cicolella. Long kick. Spear at the front. Rode brilliantly by Colville. Will the skipper seal the win with a goal? I think he might have done, or has he missed? He's distraught. He's hit the post. Running into an open goal, Gavin Colville. Find a hole and jump in it, Gavin.
Still the leading ball getter today, 14 kicks and 12 handballs. For South, Clinton Kings had 34, 16 kicks and 18 handballs.
That'd be Colville's best game, I would have thought, Andrews, in his comeback from that knee reconstruction.
Certainly been building as the season's gone on and continues to find the foot. He was a very good player before and seems to have come back no worse from his knee injury.
Speaking of which, there he is again with another possession. Just outside the 50, that one marked by Inkster. Quickly around on the right foot. Good delivery. And Rugolo has another opportunity to edge that little bit closer. He now has no excuse. He has to have a shot.
Thought about passing it off too.
Well, Mark Passador can't rib him about the fact he wants to have a shot. So after the siren, with the margin standing at the moment at 23 points, the Eagles have let up in the final quarter, but they obviously will win this match. Here's Rugolo from out on the far side of the ground. Everybody waiting as he goes slightly right, wait on the goal umpire. Minus score, so 24 points. The final margin in favour of the Eagles. A reasonably, well, a very efficient performance for 3 quarters from the Eagles, but let up in the end and just happy to get the win. 13-16-94 plays 10-9-69.
Yes, and I think that man on screen would be firstly very happy with the first 3 quarters and the professionalism of his side, but certainly disappointed by the last quarter when they certainly dropped their intensity around the footy. Their decision-making fell away. They turned the ball over and allowed South Adelaide to get into the game. The game was there to be won early, and that's when the Eagles put the heat into the contest. They had far too many contributors for South. It was left to too few for South Adelaide. Clay Sampson, Clinton King, and a few others had to do too much. Jared Bennett had to do too much, and the Eagles was very much their workload was spread over too many players for South Adelaide to control, and they really did dominate the game, as Mark Soderson seems there with a happy 6-goal forward and Sam Philippo.
Sam Philippo, a very happy man as we fumble around with the microphones. Fortunately, Sammy wasn't fumbling around with the ball today. Sammy, 6 goals with Mark Passiter out the side, just stamps your spot there.
Yeah, it's good to get a few goals, but look, the ball was coming down really well by the boys today. They really looked after me, so it was good to be involved and kick a few.
Solid victory, keeps you guys on top of the ladder too.
Yeah, that was, Ronnie emphasised that before the game, that we had a lot to play for, and even though we've won a few in a row, we've still got to just keep on keeping on. So it was good to do that. It was disappointing the last quarter probably for us, but other than that, it was a pretty good performance.
And just after half-time, it looked like you turned the clock back about a decade with that show of agility in that goal.
Yeah, it's always good to do something like that. So yeah, it just came off, tried to have a crack at it, and it worked. So it was good.
And you have had some injury problems earlier in the year with your shoulder, also your calf. How's the body holding up at 29 years of age?
Yeah, it looked pretty good, Soda. That shoulder sort of kept me out for a couple of weeks and took me a couple of weeks to get my confidence back. But feel pretty good now, and feel pretty fresh, and it was good.
Well, Sammy, I enjoyed watching you today. A magnificent effort.
Thanks, Soda. Good on you, mate.
And he will go off and join his teammates. A little worse for wear. Maybe the foot's a bit sore from kicking that many goals this afternoon. Sam Philippo.
Yes, he was part of a forward line that structured really well today with Ellis and as well as Fergus Watts. They either weren't taking the marks, they were bringing the ball front and centre, so it's a very good structure. You wonder where Mark Passador can fit back in there.
Don't say that. Do not say that as we just get a look at the match highlights this afternoon, highlighted early by Rod Tregenza's goal. Just an opportunist effort there, and that was at the 8-minute mark, and South Adelaide had done well into the breeze at that stage.
They certainly had. They worked really hard. They put some real pressure, as we see the Matty Stokes incident where he hurt his thumb. But they worked really hard into the breeze and they had control of it. They kicked the first goal, but then the Eagles just showed their class, really got on top. Their better players started to use the ball a lot better. And there's one of that men on screen in Andrew Merriman, who was really classy out of the half-back flank. Another person heavily involved was Luke Toyer. Handballs to another bloke that was heavily involved today, Mark McKenzie. So, as I said, they do spread the workload over many contributors. There's that miracle goal from Luke Toyer from the pocket.
I tell you, Michael Maney was trying to suggest that he'd come off the boot awkwardly. I thought he did exactly what he wanted to do.
Well, I thought he was actually turning it around for a left foot check side. It seemed as though it ended up more as a drop punt. But Ron Fuller has introduced some youngsters, Luke Spear, David Westbrook, and they have been valuable contributors, and they're keeping some good players out. The scary thing for the rest of the competition is that you've still got Hayden Skipworth, you've still got Robert Shirley, still a few others to go back into that midfield, so there's certainly some improvement in the Eagles.
Well, now in one single season, it is a club record of 9 wins in a row for the Eagles, and they'll go into the match against Sturt next week very, very confident. They've actually had 17 wins from their past 18 against South Adelaide, so they've certainly dominated South Adelaide, and those wins include 6 in a row here at Noarlunga.
Yes, they certainly have owned Noarlunga since South Adelaide have moved down here. A lot of the highlights you're seeing now, South Adelaide goals, is when all the heat had gone out of their game. So you can see a beautiful sunset there. The sun was out. I think it's out anyway. We're not really feeling the benefit of it here in the commentary box.
That isn't off tape in past years. It is actually happening right now, although let me tell you, it's pretty cool down here at Noarlunga. As we see there, the margins 19 at quarter time, 24 at the half, 47 at three-quarter time, and then South Adelaide kicking 6 goals to 2 in the final quarter for that 25-point final margin.
As we get a look at the goal kickers, Sam Philippo was a dominant forward with 6. Fergus Watts competed really hard for 2. Toyer, Spear, Westbrook and Ellis each with 1 each. And for South Adelaide, most of them came in the last quarter with King, Tregenza and Hamby all with 2. Manhood, Warren and Daly all just with 1 each.
And the stats overall, gee, a dominance there in handballs and kicks for the Eagles. In the end, they used the ball into the breeze very effectively, and of course with the breeze.
The one that really stands out to me is the marks, where they have actually hit their targets as they go forward. South Adelaide generally missed their targets, made poor decisions. Interestingly, they won the centre breaks, which is a real win. At the start of the day, I would have thought the Eagles would have won the centre breaks with Brett O'Hara and Paul Lindsay, but Mark Bradley did a good job in there.
Yes, well, I can tell you from other grounds, and importantly, this has a bearing for next week. The Eagles going in, as we said, having won 9 in a row against a Sturt side that lost this afternoon at Prospect. North Adelaide 21-6, 132. Sturt 17-11, 113. So, looking ahead to next week, well, that will be very interesting, that clash between the Eagles and Sturt.
Derogatory and threatening remarks to match officials.